And look at Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn one.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, what, 7 laps as far as I can know?
Yeah. We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport. Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As we go back up the hill towards the Schumacher S. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around.
Oh my god, that's going to definitely do the thumbnail when it hit me in the right direction.
Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to the next round, or rounds, of the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. This is the 6th season of this wonderful championship, and we arrive at Interlagos, Autodromo Los Carlos Pache, for the first sprint race of the evening, or of the season, I should say. Sprint race night, I should say, of the evening. And, well, it's going to be a great night of action, this. It's myself, Chaz Draycott, in the commentary box with the delightful Ed May alongside me once again. And, Ed, we've had an amazing start to this championship, haven't we, mate? It's been joyous to watch and just see the pedigree of this field grow time and time again.
It really has been. Obviously, we've gone to 2 circuits already this season, haven't we, Chaz, that the drivers have been well acquainted with. The first 2 rounds of Season 1 repeated here, of course, for, I believe, Season 5, for, of course, what was Road Atlanta, not Road America, Road Atlanta, and then Sebring as well. 2 very different circuits, but still giving us that same brilliant racing. Here, though, at, well, the Autodromo José Carlos Pache, or Interlagos, we're going to be in for a different style, I think, of race circuits. Still, some excellent racing and some very exciting opportunities for overtakes in towards that CNRS.
Yeah, definitely. We've got some very interesting championship points on our hands as well. 1 race this season out of the first set, well, basically up until the last race meeting, they can drop any of those races, whether it is one of the sprint races or whether it's one of the endurance races. Their worst score gets dropped. As we've only had 2 rounds so far, the points will be mighty close and mighty fine, and you can see there just 6 points between the top 6 drivers in the championship. Callum Brandt and Adam Watson tied on 25 points apiece. Jake Cranstone in third on 22. Taylor Adams and Matthias Tem next up. Tem had a great debut back at Sebring. I believe he scored a podium in that first race of his championship campaign, which was good to see. A little bit of housekeeping as well for tonight. It's great to see that we will have the return of Matthias Pentila on the circuit tonight. He is going to be in the number 7 Mercedes for RD Simsport. We also have joining us as well Eric Manintveld for Win It or Bin It Racing. Unfortunately, the departure of Simon Povey from the championship and also Chris Humphreys means that 2 of the reserve drivers have moved up. But just in time though, Ed, it is now time for qualifying. Now, it's an open qualifying session here at Interlagos, and as it is all season, it's going to be interesting to see who gets track position and who makes this work, isn't it?
It's going to be very exciting, obviously. It's a circuit where I think overtaking is going to be really important for those drivers, right? Well, sorry, not overtaking. Qualifying is going to be really important for those drivers at the top end, just because overtaking isn't necessarily the easiest circuit around here. You've got that sector, the sort of basically the second half of the lap, haven't you? Which is just all corners one after the other. It means that those drivers that are really quick around here over a single lap can maybe extend a bit of an advantage, so they're not going to be too worried going on to the straight. But you can see with this open qualifying session just how important it is to try and get track space. You can see the 2 Regenta Sim Racing drivers out there together, with the Mercedes of Taylor Adams here, looking back at the McLaren of Matt Slight, his teammate there. You can just see through the left-hander, and elevation is going to be a key factor for the drivers as well, how they're able to sort of manage the balance of the cars as they rise and fall throughout these crests of the circuit. Such as you and I have driven GT4s fairly recently on iRacing. We know they can be quite a bit of a handful, despite having all of the traction control and the ABS to help you out.
Yeah, they really do catch you out very, very suddenly. But at the same time, you know, any slide or spin they have is very gentle and smooth, so it doesn't always look very dramatic from the outside either. You do wonder sometimes when you're just a spectator, you think, how have they lost it there? You know, how have they really had that sort of moment? But it's easy to do. Very, very easy to do. So we have Matthias Pentila joining us, Eric Manintveld as well. He's running the Blobby colour scheme as well, which is wonderful to see tonight. Win It or Bin It. He's promised that he's going to be in a Win It or Bin It racing colour scheme next time round, but these guys ran all together in an endurance charity event a while ago, as instead of Masters of Torque, they were Masters of Blobby, I believe, and they had a lot of Mr. Blobby liveries. So Eric now making his debut here this evening in this colour, but he will of course be in a colour scheme similar to the car just a few ahead in the Win It or Bin It Racing Aston Martin is John Bailiff. But what about the 2 drivers at the top of the order though, Ed? Because we've got Callum Brandt and of course Adam Watson, 2 drivers that will really not back down from a fight and should be key contenders for the championship all the way through.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting. And I think a big story is just going to be about the consistency of the drivers throughout the course of the championship. That's really is going to what I think the separating point between all of the drivers, because of the level, like you've been saying, like we've been saying all of the time throughout the seasons gone by, is it just keeps raising time and time again, which means that drivers don't have any opportunities to make mistakes, because with the Chase-In pack being at the highest level that we are at the moment, there's going to be so many people just waiting to take advantage. You can see on board with Arthur Thurtle, one of the 2 Altitude 3M Esports drivers out here tonight. Just up ahead of him actually is his teammate, isn't it? It's the Adam Watson just up the road, the 291. Going to be the first lap on the board actually for a lot of the drivers here. Ben Charcraft breaks been first, but he's quickly dethroned by Callum Brandt, and then I was going to say the 2 Aston Martins go top, but it's actually Arthur Thurtle and then Callum Brandt in second. Callum's really gotten this McLaren nailed, I think.
Yeah, he does. He's absolutely smashing it. He wasn't too pleased after Sebring due to the difficulties with the fuel. These guys do have to work hard to make sure they get to the end on the fuel. Matthias Tem goes 13th at the moment, as Nils Kaur goes fastest. Previous champion in the SRM GT4 Challenge. Flying high in the BMW. He's got his teammate Ben Idris Abdullahi just in front of him there. I think Ben got a invalidated lap on that previous circulation, so now they're going to continue to work together. Only 16 thousandths of a second. Lewis Ward, previous double champion, goes into 4th place. It's so close though. John Bailiff going well in 7th ahead of Adam Watson in the Aston Martin as well. Chris Jennings in 9th position at the moment ahead of Ben Chalcraft in the Spontex CDM Esports car. Callum Brandt didn't improve in the first sector of this lap, but it looks like he's flying during the other two so far, although that purple sector has been taken away from him.
It has been for now. Still plenty of time to go in this qualifying session. 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's go. Like I say, Bills Cole currently top of the bunch, but Callum Brandt, we know that these GT4s take a little while to get the tyres into the perfect temperature. You can see already, purple middle sector of the lap for Callum. He's really flying around here. Going to get a little bit of slipstream as well, actually, isn't he? From, I think that is Ben Chalcraft just up to the line. But look at that, Callum Brandt, first of the drivers into the 1 minute 38, half a second faster than Nils Core, 0.4 of a second faster than Adam Watson, who is joining him on the front row provisionally.
Taylor Adams up there as well. Matthias Penteler having a good first qualifying session of the season, but we remember from seasons past where Matthias was part of the grid, he was always quick and he knows how to make that Mercedes work. It's great to have him back on the grid. Gary Toller's a driver that's going to be looking for a bit of redemption here tonight. And I'll be looking for a bit of redemption after the broadcast this evening when I tell him that he's still got the wrong coloured wheels on the car. But Gary was really pleased with his pace when he returned. He hadn't been in the sim rig for so long. And he came to Sebring and he qualified right near the front of the grid for a while. He was on pole position. And so too was Dominic Brennan as well, his stablemate at Spontex CDM Esports. But Gary, just outside of the top 10 now. But he had that big incident, didn't he, with a few other drivers at the start of the lap. I think Ben Idris Abdullahi involved in that one as well. And they will be looking to avoid anything of that sort. I mean, Ben will be looking to just get a valid time on the board at the moment, Ed. There's 4 drivers that don't. Himself, Daniel Mills, PJ Clysons and Francois Brandet.
Brandet, you know what he's obviously capable of, don't we, Chaz? He's certainly a driver that likes to give everything out on the circuit, but like you mentioned, not really with the time on the board just yet. Another driver, though, I think that we've seen time and time again develop over the course of a season, and that's the greatest thing about this championship, is that it does tend to nurture some great talent. I think other drivers we've seen, at least here on Chaz Draycott Media, an example I can give you, Chaz, from drivers that we've seen get better and better. Khan Ewan.
Yes.
That's a bit of a blast from the past.
It is, yeah.
But he was a driver that really did come leaps and bounds. I think it was in the Nevo F4 series where we started to see him really get those results.
Absolutely was, yeah. He was really on it, really trying his very best to make the most of that car and just have a good time at the end of the day. Speaking of having a good time, this is Simon Price's next livery for the season. Wonderful Brazilian Fifes banana livery. Looks absolutely mega on this M4. It's lovely to see the banter continuing on for Simon. I think there's one of the track mouse. Oh, it wasn't Mark that we were looking at, but the Aprilia team have got a special livery coming up for, I believe, the Brazilian Grand Prix in MotoGP. And the Trackmouse Racing team have mimicked that on their McLarens for this round of the season. Lovely looking colour scheme, lovely looking car. Just looking up and down the order to see who's not quite in a place we'd expect. Matthias Tem 24th, Christopher Smith 22nd at the moment, Tim Perry down in 20th. He's in the Mercedes and it looks mighty good. He wasn't with us at Sebring, was Tim. It's lovely to see him back in the field now fighting on. Ben Chalcraft's down in 19th, but then again, when you look inside the top 20, Ed, the whole top 20 is so close, and it's just full of drivers that could win races.
Yeah, that's the brilliant thing about this championship, is that there's so many opportunities with different drivers to come out on top and take that silverware. We think, of course, that it's probably going to be more Callum Brandt than anyone else this season, but all it takes is for one slip up from him and it's going to be a bit of a torrid time. Well, it's not necessarily just about qualifying, is it, Chaz? It's also about how the drivers manage the races.
Yeah.
So here tonight we do have the 2 sprints, so it's less about management, but we do know in those endurance style races it's all about those that can call the strategy at the perfect points, and that's, I think, where we've seen races won off. In fact, actually, I think that was where we saw Callum Brandt take victory, wasn't it, at Road Atlanta, where it was the call in the strategy, wasn't it, against...
Yeah.
How have I forgotten the name? The name escapes me. I know the car, I know the driver, but the name has somehow escaped me.
Lewis Ward was in the fight for a lot of it, but it was Jake Cranstone that was up there with him as well. Don't see Jake Cranstone here tonight, though, actually. Reigning champion. Doesn't look like he's...
I think on holiday. I think he sent a message in the Discord just to say that he's going to be on holiday, but watching from, well, his mobile, wherever he is.
Ryan Penny is away as well, unfortunately, this evening. Ryan not around for this one. But, yeah, seems... I mean, it's that time of year. It's getting nicer everywhere you go, so why not? I mean, my girlfriend and I went to my mum's on the weekend for Easter Sunday, sat out in the garden for just a few hours, ended up getting really bad sunburn on my right arm, and it's still absolutely killing right now. It's like leather trying to move this mouse around. It's like wearing a cowboy boot on your right elbow. It just doesn't work. Really, really don't work. It's horrible. But still, this is a session now that's, I'm not going to lie, chilled out a little bit. Chris Jennings improves, goes up into 19th place. He's in a privateer entry for this season. But right now, the driver's struggling to get a better time on the board. I think the circuit, it's not particularly hot either. It's 26 degrees, only 23 degrees in the air. But it's going to go quite dark here this evening at Interlagos. The sun is setting, and as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, it's 20 past 4 in the evening. It's going to take us to about 5 p.m. by the time that the sprint race, or the first of the two races tonight, has finished. So then when we get the half-hour race, I'd imagine we'll be probably getting towards headlight territory, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think we will do, actually. That's a good point, and that could be exciting. I think this is a circuit that has circuit lights on, so it's got the floodlights, I believe.
I don't think
circuits
there's
on iRacing
many.
have floodlights, and others don't. Let's have a look around the circuit. I can't see a whole lot of them, actually.
No, I'm sure that Interlagos is one of the circuits where there's absolutely nil when it comes to having the floodlighting. Daniel Mills, by the way, he's got a new livery on the car. I don't know who Gunther is, but it's a lovely looking livery otherwise. It's certainly different to the Cheetos car that he was running last time out, isn't it? I quite liked that Cheetos livery, though, I must admit. I will apologise now as well. You would have all just seen it there as the camera changed. There's about 3 or 4 frames around the lap where it picks up a random camera from somewhere and it just flicks as it changes over. I have not been able to figure out where that is from, and I'm really sorry about that, but I cannot change that. I'm going to have to reset all my cameras and go over them another time, but I tried to fix it earlier and it just doesn't seem fixable. PJ Clysons is a driver who's a bit further down the order than I expected, Ed. Down in 19th position right now in the Mercedes. Matthias Tem still in 21st position. So I don't know whether it's maybe the Mercedes not working around here, although Lewis Ward's got it 6th, Matthias Pentila has got it 4th. It just, some of these guys don't seem to get it together. Tem has now gone 10th, or 10th. Sorry. But he's just improved significantly, so let's see if PJ can.
Yeah, Matthias, I think, is he a new driver for this race? I don't seem to remember seeing him
he's
out
a newcomer for this one, Pentila.
Yeah, newcomer. Don't remember seeing him out last time, so we'll have to see what he can do. But currently starting provisionally on the second row of the grid. Very good effort from the RD Simsport man. Obviously partnering up with the man who's provisionally on pole, Callum Brandt, at the moment. Adam Watson, Arthur Thurtle, very close. Adam's going to need to get a little bit of an extra 10th or so to catch up to Callum. A bit of slipstream would help him out massively. Currently got a car in behind. I think that is one of the RD Simsport Mercedes. Is that Matthias?
I believe it is. Yes.
It is.
Yes. Sorry, I was scouring the leaderboard for him then after just talking about the fact he was in 4th position. We've got now, as this is one of the sprint race nights, we have got until the clock ticks to 0. They basically, that sounds stupid in itself when you say it, but it means that the drivers don't get chance to finish their laps. Now it's 1:39, so these guys are done. Their session is now done as they cross the line. They are not going to be able to improve or do another lap after this, so we need to keep an eye on everybody crossing the line. Ben Idris Abdullahi is about to shoot up the board by the look of it. From 9th position, where does he go? No improvement that time round. Tem Perry crossing the line. Francois Brandet, one of the next ones through as well. There's not a lot of improvements going through, is there, Ed?
No, just looking as well, the only drivers that could improve, Lewis Ward, he's about to finish a lap now as he crosses the line. Team 11 driver stays in 6th place for the moment. I can't really see any other drivers. I think Dennis Van Balen's going to be able to make it to the line in time.
Maybe Rob Sharp.
Beyond that, Heinz Meyer as well. I think beyond that, Ben Shellcraft could be one of the last drivers to do it.
And a big shout out as well to Heinz Meyer, of course. Orris Analytics, one of the sponsors of the championship, and Derbyshire Holiday Homes. We are massively grateful to them and their support. Thanks always to Andy Marston of Sim Racing Magazine. This all goes on with Andy's blessing and his wonderful branding, so thank you to Andy. Hope you're all enjoying the show, everybody, but please make sure that you give a thanks to our sponsors and everyone involved. And once again, Ed, it's going to be Callum Brandt on pole position. It's not really a surprise at this point, but unbelievable stuff by Callum again, just showing what the capability of that McLaren is. That's awesome.
He's really just got it nailed over a single lap. Here, obviously, you do tend to, at least in these sprint races, want to have a bit more of a aggression-focused approach. We know, of course, that the McLaren runs through its tyres a little bit more than the rest of the field, but during these sort of half-hour sprint races, that shouldn't be too much of a concern for Callum.
You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think so. We'll have to see exactly what he makes of this race, shall we? So, round 3 of the SRM GT4 Challenge Season 6 has Callum Brandt on pole position. Adam Watson tied for the championship lead with him, alongside him on the front row. Then it's Arthur Thurtle in 3rd place, with Matthias Penteler alongside him on that 2nd row. Nils Kaur and Lewis Ward, 2 previous champions, on row 3. Then we have Dominic Brennan in 7th place, Taylor Adams in 8th, ahead of Ben Idris Abdullahi and Matthias Tem, completing the top 10. Tim Perry is 11th, with John Bailiff, a good qualifying from him to get the car into 12th. Dennis Van Beelen and Gary Tall make up row 7, ahead of Matt Slight and Daniel Mills. Then it's Stephen Burns and Guy Edwards, with Rob Sharp and PJ Clysons just behind. Ben Chalcraft starts outside of the top 20 with car 22, P22, Chris Jennings. Eric Mannenveld would have hoped that he was about a tenth of a second slower, so he could be car 24, P24, but he's 23rd on his debut this season, with Stephen Codman next up in 24th. Then it's Lee Berridge 25th ahead of Christopher Smith, with Francois Brandet and John Roberts lining up alongside each other on row number 14. Then it's Oliver Carwadine in car 14 ahead of his teammate Kim Such. Heinz Meyer next up in car number 222. Then it's Mark Johnson and Simon Price in car 64, makes up the 33 car field that we have here tonight. I'm intrigued by these conditions though, Ed. It's quite a cool circuit. Obviously they don't need to worry about tyre life or anything because, well, they're just going to be going absolutely hammer and tongs from the get-go here. No worries about strategy, no worries about pit stops. The cars have 60% of their full tanks in them, so there's no worry about fuel or it running out. They don't need to save to get to the end. I think this is where Callum is really going to thrive in this McLaren. He's the only McLaren in the top 10, and there's a good few positions after that. This is his playground now, isn't it, really, to try and win this race against these Aston Martins. We've had a question in the chat, actually. Adam just asking when the race starts, when the game says, or when the leader goes. The leader determines the starts in these ones. It's how we've had it before. As long as they don't back it up too much, we just want them to keep a consistent speed and not slow down. Any thoughts, Ed?
As well, Chaz. Yeah, just looking actually at the positioning of Matthias Penteler. I'm sorry, I muted up to have a swig of drink and then forgot to unmute, but there we go. It's Callum Brandt. His teammate Matthias Penteler is in a really great position just to really, I think, occupy Adam Watson and Arthur Thurtle, and that might give Callum Brandt the space and breathing time he needs to just blitz his way down and out of the sight of those two Astons. But look, they're trying to box him in already. Adam Watson and Arthur Thurtle tried a little bit of gamesmanship.
They absolutely are. And any moment now, the safety car peels in. The flag will drop and we get going for round number 3 of the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge in Season 6, down towards Turn 1, and it's a wonderful start for our race leader, but not for Matthias Penteler. He loses ground to Nils Kaur, who ends up down the outside of him. As there's contact in the background, and there's a car around. I think Stephen Codman's lost a few places, although no, he's actually survived. Runs a little bit deep through Turn 2. Everybody near the front keeping it nice and tidy as well by the look of it. We're underway, and it is already, that in the background is one of the Mercedes having a big old off and into the wall. That was Daniel Mills. Look at this, Adam Watson, racy as you like. Straight out of the gates, here he goes.
I thought it was going to be plain sailing for Callum Brandt. Adam Watson, though, has got another idea. However, Callum will have the inside line for the next 2 corners, which are both right-handers, as long as he gets himself alongside in towards this next sharper braking zone. It should be okay, but look at Adam Watson, the bravery around the outside. A little bit of contact there, as I think Adam just tried to close the door, not realising that there was still a little bit of an overlap. Callum Brandt entitled to some space, a little bit of a bump, but I think it's fair to say that was a good little bit of racing action. Oh no, dear.
No, that looked like retaliation from Adam from the outside. Callum tries to cleanly get back on, but that was really, I mean, even from back there, that looked shoddy from Adam Watson, I have to say. He's certainly not made friends in the past in certain championships that we've had, and I don't think him and Callum are going to get this championship off to a friendly start here with stuff like that. That is not good to see. I don't know whether he's just mistakenly gone in too hot, but it didn't look good.
No, I'm not so certain that it was how you move, because Callum's trying to have a little bit of a look to the inside,
but then there's that, which looks off,
which isn't great. But I think it's this one. We'll have a look from how far back it is. It's very slight contact as well. It's very sort of nose to tail. It doesn't look like he's attempting, a pit maneuver or anything. It just seemed like nose to tail contact that, fortunately, if you're the lead car in that situation, you're going to be coming off worse.
Absolutely are. Stephen Burns side by side with Matt Slight, having a big old battle here. Porsche versus McLaren with Mercedes behind them as well. Arthur Thurtle has taken the lead away from Adam Watson, and he's starting to run away with it. There's quite the gap. Let's go back here to Eric Maninveld. It's his debut in the season tonight, or not even just in this season, but it's his first ever race in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. And look at them all weaving around, trying to find a gap or find a position to put their car so they don't hit one another. Big contact with the Porsche in front of Gary Toll. He has to check up with Rob Sharp ahead of him. Matt Slight, Stephen Burns and PJ Clijstens as well. Boy, this is feisty stuff. I think there's a car right behind as well. Yes, indeed, it's Callum Brandt trying to recover here as he gets ahead, or tries to get ahead, of Eric Maninveld. And on top of all of this, Ed, let's not forget, the points are a lot more savage in these sprint races. You get points for the top 20 in the endurance races. In the sprint races, it's only the top 12.
Yes, it is. So that means that looks like it's going to be a non-scoring race for Callum Brandt. Finds himself down in 20th place. He's got just about 16 minutes to try and make up those positions. Arthur Thurtle, meanwhile, extending his lead. Lewis Ward has gone up the inside of Adam Watson.
He has. Yeah, Lewis Ward has made it. I think Adam might have a little bit of front-end damage, after that contact earlier. That might have really hindered the car. The front left. Look at Nils Kaur going for it. Lewis dives all the way over to the left-hand side, says, no, thank you, Nils, I don't want any of this. Moves around a little bit, puts the car where he wants it. Nils Kaur down the inside of Adam. They're side-by-side. Penteler wants in on this as well. Taylor Adams has got a good view of all of this. Flipping out. This is getting feisty, isn't it? This is very tough stuff from some of these guys at the sharp end. There's been drama further back. Callum Brandt is off. Callum Brandt is losing positions. Chris Jennings is off with him. Oh, Callum. It's just not coming together for him, is it? It's always the same story with Callum Brandt. He is scary fast as... Oh my goodness me, what on earth? What on earth? Oh, one of the RD cars. Oh, it's a horrible chain reaction. I think one of the RD Mercedes has... Is that... It's not Daniel Mills. Who else would that have been back there? Christopher Smith? Yeah. Chris is late on the brakes. Sorry about this, all the flicking with the replays, but they brake and they check up. Chris dives to the inside, smacks Ben, and then Berridge is the one that hits Jennings. into Callum Brandt. They make contact in the braking zone. It's
a very similar incident that we saw last race meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where it was Callum Brandt again who got massive damage to the side of his car through no real fault of his own to an incident that happened behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the two of them just kissed on the way into the apex or the braking zone, and then massive contact. And that, unfortunately, has put pay to what could have been an epic battle and an epic fight back from Callum Brandt. RD Simsport, Matthias Penteler side by side with Nils Kaur. These two have had some great scraps in their time in SRM. Taylor Adams wants in on this as well. He's back in the fight, as he always is. It's the two Mercedes fighting against the BMW. It wasn't long ago I was saying maybe the Mercedes isn't working around here. We've got about 6 of them in the top 10. As Matthias Penteler wants to close that gap, he doesn't... Oh, I don't know if he knew that Taylor was still there, to be honest. Taylor now tries to go late down the inside on the brakes. Lovely move. Matthias Tem is in there as well. God, this is really feisty stuff, isn't it? Ben Idris Abdullahi now back down the inside in the housing estate-sized BMW. This is really a fight for German honours, to be honest. It's only Aston Martins, BMWs and Mercedes inside the top, 15? Matt Slight is in a McLaren. He's the first non-Aston Martin, BMW or Mercedes. That's ridiculous. We've never seen that many sort of manufacturers squeezed into one. No, that's not the right sentence. You know what I mean? We've not really seen that few manufacturers squeezed into the top 15.
Obviously the McLarens, none of them scoring points tonight with, well, as far down the order as they are. Callum Brandt out of the race as well in the pits. He might not be scoring any points here tonight, and obviously with the second race he'll probably be struggling to score points starting from the back as well. So not a good evening for Callum Brandt. Of course, drivers do have a drop round, don't they, Chaz, over the course of a season as well.
Absolutely, they do.
So it isn't necessarily championship over.
No.
It's going to be good news for some of the other drivers as well that have seen Callum's form, as pervasive as it has been. Probably marked him as one to watch, that he's not necessarily having the greatest race. Jake Cranston as well, going to be taking a drop round here tonight. He'll be watching from wherever he is, hopefully sunning himself on a nice hot beach. A nice time and enjoying the action here.
Probably wishing he...
Turtle.
I was going to say, probably glad he's not here with some of the contact and argy-bargy we've seen. Some people do tend to avoid these sprint race nights, actually, in SRM, because they know how frantic and fraught they can be. I mean, look at all these cars here. Absolutely nose to tail. Completely one after the other outside of these top point-scoring positions. But some of these guys are in point-scoring positions. Dennis Van Beelen, who is in the black and red Aston Martin there, he is in the final point-scoring spot in this race, and it's the top 10 that get reversed on the grid for race 2. So currently John Bailiff is holding on to one of the most important positions, because that will be 3 championship points, which are hard to come by in these sprint races, and also reverse grid pole position. And John has great pace. He has the ability to win a race with that reverse grid being handed to him, for sure.
Yes, definitely. There's so many exciting storylines that could be made with these reverse grids, but there's still a way to go in this race before we can determine who's going to be on the reverse grid pole position. Dominic Brennan going for it in the Spontex CDM blue BMW. He's got the BMW behind though. Ben Idris Abdullahi, again, another driver that we've seen, I think, really develop over the course of his time here in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4
Don't do
Challenge.
it, Ben.
Ooh, let's try to squeeze each other a little bit.
He started to come left a little bit, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's just, yeah, I don't get it sometimes, but yeah, these sprint races certainly bring out the animals in these lot. Stephen Burns trying to get past Matt Slight and see what he can do here. Has to back out of that one as the McLaren comes through. Rob Sharp and Gary Tull bringing in reinforcements in the form of more Porsches to throw at these McLarens and Mercedes. Lewis Ward has gained time again on Arthur Thurtle, by the way. Arthur not disappearing at the front of the order here. Lewis is very much the meat in the sandwich with Altitude Esports flavoured bread. Not sure how nice that would be. Tastes like cotton. But Lewis Ward at the moment, I mean, he's having to pull out all the stops to keep up the pace to stick with Arthur Thurtle, but also hold off someone like Adam Watson as well, who is a very feisty and very talented driver indeed. But we've seen these guys all win something. Arthur Thurtle, of course, the reigning SRM GT3 Winter Tour champion as well, from the end of 2024 into the beginning of 2025. And right now, Watson's looking for a move. He's going to try it down the inside on the brakes. Tries to go as late as he dares. Makes the apex. Good stuff. Lewis Ward still on the inside for the second part. They both run wide and give each other plenty of room. That was lovely racing. Great stuff. Nicely executed that by Adam Watson. Lewis Ward is demoted to third, and while also Adam has done that, he's given Arthur Thurtle a bit more breathing room, hasn't he?
He's certainly got a little bit more room to work with.
Look at these two.
Streamers keeping the fight very close as you like between these pair. Benedict Abdullahi down the inside now of Dominic Brennan.
Now Dom's going to get the cutback. He's got him again.
And then he's going to be around on the outside for the next two corners, which are both right-handers.
It's great to see these two BMWs fighting like this. This is epic stuff. This is proper sprint racing fighting as well. This is what you want to see. It's like high-powered touring car racing between these two Beamers, as now Ben Idris Abdullahi secures it in front. Oh, Dom Brennan's gone a bit deep into there. And now look at that. Great opportunism there by Tim Perry down the inside. That would put him on reverse grid pole position if he holds on to that one. John Bailiff alongside him gives him a bit of a knock in the door as they head into the hairpin. And now PJ Clyson's wants in on this as well. Tim's suddenly been freight trained. Oh, nearly contact on the exit. The two of them remain side by side all the way around. Can PJ leave enough room? Yes, he can. He's going to carry great speed through there. And he's got it done, has he? Tim puts his nose back down the inside. Little bit of a contact on the way in. Hopefully not contact on the way out. PJ's trying not to squeeze him too much. They are so close to one another. But PJ's just kept that Mercedes behind. Great move, great racing.
This is brilliant stuff, isn't it, Chaz? Interlagos certainly is not disappointing us whatsoever. Look now, though, PJ Clyson's under massive pressure as Tim Perry stuck to the outside, now to the inside. Covered off, though, late on the brakes. Goes the Belgian. Hangs on, but is he going to struggle on the exit of this NRS because he's had to really narrow down that right-hander right up his gearbox now, bumping him along.
He doesn't need to do
Perry.
it.
Look at them tying around.
He doesn't need to push him. I mean, I don't know why Tim's flashing his lights. He was the one that kept it pinned and ran into the back of him to begin, but yeah, PJ moving around a little bit on the exit, maybe just as in the wrong. It's very feisty stuff. I have to say sorry, Jonathan Walker, as well. It's not just Altitude Esports, of course. It's Altitude 3M Esports as of recently. Sorry, Jonathan. Great to have you along, though. Hope you're enjoying the show, mate. Always lovely to have Mr. 3M with us in the channel. I hope you subscribed, son. We've got Arthur Thurtle still leading this race, though, from his teammate Adam Watson. He's got 0.8 of a second over him. There's a fight going on here between Daniel Mills, who had a sickening impact with the wall earlier, by the way, and Eric Maninveld in the Mr. Blobby Porsche. These guys both in rather humorous liveries. And look at that send by Daniel back down the inside. Says, go on, son, have some of that. Oh, nearly. Oh, there's a kiss on the exit. That's going around. Oh, dearie me. Part of that looked like a bit of, maybe a bit of retaliation as well, as he threw it down the inside. It's easy to judge a book by its cover, though, with the outside move like that. Let's have a look at how it all started. So, oh, they get slowed down in front there. Daniel throws it up the inside. And then on the exit, I don't know, I don't think there was anything wrong there. And then there was just a bit of opportunism there by Christopher Smith in the Mercedes. Just got a little bit feisty on the exit. And Daniel Mills has decided he is out of this race. He actually came to a stop not long after that. Let's have a look here. Oh, I think he's just parked it after that. He went off much earlier in the race into the wall and hit the barrier. I think it was around this time, right near the start of the race. Let me just have a quick look at this. So Daniel, he's crossing the line. He gets overtaken by a few people. Let me just check if I can find it. See if it's here. Yeah, watch this on the exit. I think he clips the back of a car in front. Yeah, runs sideways and then bang! Into the barriers and somehow keeps going. I'm amazed that car was going in a straight line. Big thanks to Ang the Pony, by the way, for just becoming a member of Chaz Draycott Media while watching this one. It's not often we get Chaz Draycott Media members joining during this. I had a Tower Simulator 3 stream last night. We gained 121 channel members through the course of the stream with gifted memberships all over the place. I was very, very grateful. But thank you, Ang the Pony, for joining here this evening. It's a bit closer further up now, Ed, and it's not necessarily Lewis Ward chasing down the Altitude 3M esports cars, but Nils Core getting one over on Lewis Ward here.
Yeah, looks to be the case. I think actually Lewis Ward is lifting off and allowing this position ahead. Was it maybe a slowdown out of the final corner? Did he cut it a little bit too much? I'm sure he did seem to lift off a little bit, and that looked very comfortable for Nils Core. And all of a sudden, it seems like Lewis Ward is back on the offensive.
I was going to say, I don't know whether Lewis is just going to try and stick with him now, and he's sort of using Nils as a key to open the Altitude 3M esports door. Whether he knows that Nils has got good pace, because he was 0.3 of a second quicker on that previous lap, and he was quicker than both of the Aston Martins ahead. So I don't know whether that BMW's got the legs on that start-finish straight as well over some of the other cars, because they have always been fast cars in a straight line, the BMWs, despite their colossal nature. And I'm wondering whether Nils can start to unsettle those two Astons at the front of the field. He's won the championship before in Season 4, and he's also won the Winter Tour as well as Nils Core. And I think, actually no, didn't he just miss out on the Winter Tour? He did, didn't he? He just missed out to Simon Povey. Yes. And that's when it was the GT4 Winter Tour. But Nils is certainly a ferocious driver to have in your rearview mirror. Not someone I'd want chasing me, and I know that much.
Yeah, definitely not. It's a great tasty little four-way fight though, isn't it? Arthur Thurtle, Adam Watson, Nils Core, Lewis Ward. Brilliant four-way fight until the end of the race. We've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
This is going to be close, you know, to an additional lap.
Very close.
I think
it might just get one more.
Yeah, because it's 1:39s they're doing at the moment. So what would that be? 3 minutes 20. We're going to get, I think we're going to get this lap and 2 more yet. We might just get it by a matter of seconds. Otherwise, iRacing might get picky and say, "Nah, you know what? I can't be bothered. Can't be. You're not having that much server time for your money." They're gonna pull the plug and say, "After you. Just jump into the next one if you want to race some more." We've got a bit of a three-way fight for the Mercedes here. Taylor Adams, Matthias Pentelaer, and Matthias Tem trying to battle for honours of highest-placed person named Matthias, and obviously spelling it very differently as well. It's good to see Tem back on form, though. I know he ruffled a few feathers in his previous appearances in the championship, but he really composed himself well at Sebring, didn't he? And got a great result off the back of it. And to see him instantly appear back in the championship with a score like that was mega, wasn't it? Really heartwarming.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to see him come into his own here this championship. As I say that, he's had a little bit of a mistake. Does that open the door a little bit for Ben Idris Abdullahi, who is on a bit of a charge, hasn't he? We've just seen him dispatch of Dominic Brennan, and now he's really piling that pressure on to the Dutchman. Oh, really squirmy Matthias. He's certainly feeling pressure, just trying to push the exits that little bit more to gain the speed, but unfortunately with that little moment, traction control kicks in, and that really does just completely arrest any speed. Going to get some slipstream though from the Mercedes up in front. There's Matthias Pentelaer. Currently side by side though, in towards the ZRS, around the outside. Can Idris Abdullahi manage it? Oh, a little bit of a slide was then contact. A bit of netcode perhaps, but then they continue to battle. Oh, the cars merged together there. Matthias couldn't really go much further left there.
No. No. PJ and Tim are both off. PJ's hit something. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Oh my god. Now there was another car off there as well. Was that Gary Tall involved? There's multiple cars around there involved in that incident. Gary Tall, I think, might have been hit by PJ after the incident, as the two of them have come together on the exit. And then wait for Gary Tall. Oh my goodness me, that was a sickening impact. Yeah, so those two I think Tim just ran wide, and that's similar to what Ben Idris Abdullahi did. He ran wide into the other car. Let's have a look at the two of them here. Yeah, Tim just innocently ran wide into the two of them, and then Gary Tall arrives on the scene, sees the smoke, lifts, and then, yeah, by that point you've got nowhere to go. Ouch. We're very close to the end of the race, unfortunately. It's come around very quickly, but Arthur Thurtle is about to round the final corner. Jonathan Walker, it's a great time to be in the chat. He's going to be a very happy bunny as Altitude 3M Esports take a 1-2 victory in round 3 of the SRM GT4 Challenge. And it is Arthur Thurtle taking his first win of the season, Adam Watson second, Nils Kaur third, Lewis Ward in 4th place, Taylor Adams 5th, Matthias Pentila, welcome back, 6th place for him, Matthias Tem 7th, Ben Idris Abdullahi, Dominic Brennan and John Bailiff eventually gets back into 10th place to take the reverse grid pole position. Dennis Van Beelen and then Guy Edwards complete the point scorers. And that was a tough one. Matt Slight, Stephen Burns, Rob Sharp, Christopher Smith, Tim Perry, Eric Manningveld, John Roberts, Stephen Cobman, Oliver Carwadine, Kim Such, PJ Clysons, Mark Johnson, Lee Berridge, Gary Tall, Francois Brandet, Chris Jennings, Heinz Mayer and Ben Chalcraft all missing out on points in that one. Daniel Mills, Simon Price and Callum Brandt not making it to the flag. But Arthur Thurtle opens his account this season there, Ed. He'll be over the moon with that, surely. He won't have been too pleased with how that lead changed at the front, and neither will Callum Brandt and RD Simsport. But he still had to do a mighty fine job at the top end of the order there and defend from his teammate behind.
Yes, it was certainly very impressive to see, but like you mentioned, I don't think he'll be necessarily too happy with the manner in which he won, but still, a win is a win, and it's important to get them on the tally earlier, or sorry, sooner rather than later if you want to win a championship.
Absolutely. So it's Arthur Thurtle takes the win from Adam Watson in second position. A little bit of controversy about how he got the lead though, with Nils Kaur in third place, Lewis Ward in fourth, and then Taylor Adams in fifth place. Matthias Pentila finishes in sixth ahead of his namesake-ish Matthias Tem in seventh. Ben Idris Abdullahi and Dominic Brennan, when they get back from looking at wedding venues, they'll be ready for race 2 of the night. John Bailiff in 10th place. Good stuff for him. He'll be on pole position for race 2. Then it's Dennis Van Beelen and Guy Edwards ahead of Matt Slight and Stephen Burns. Rob Sharp is next up with Christopher Smith and Tim Perry. Eric Manningveld on his debut finishes in 18th position. And behind him was John Roberts and Stephen Codman. Oliver Carwadine and Kim Such next up ahead of PJ Clysons, Mark Johnson, Lee Berridge and Gary Tall after that big accident. Francois Brandet 27th ahead of Chris Jennings, Heinz Mayer and Ben Chalcraft the final cars to finish. Daniel Mills, Simon Price and Callum Brandt out of the race on this occasion. Now I'd love to show you all some action at the moment, but there are not many cars doing anything at this moment in time. Francois Brandet and Kim Such are sat in the pit lane. We have warm-up on at the moment, which is a 10-minute session. So we're going to leave you with... Oh, we may have... Adam Watson's actually decided to go out on the circuit, which is good. Gives us someone to look at. The cameras are just going to be on auto for a few minutes. Ed and I are just going to take a couple of minutes break here. Just get everything back to how we want to reset everything for race 2. So bear with us and we'll be back with round 4 of the SRM GT4 Challenge. We'll see you in a few. Hello again, everybody. Ed May and Chaz Draycott here in the commentary box for the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. At the moment, you're just watching the warm-up session between the two races. Plenty to talk about with that first one, though, Ed. I tell you what, it was certainly a sprint race, wasn't it? It really had all the sprint race characteristics as the sun sets here in Brazil.
Yeah, the drivers certainly weren't waiting for the overtakes, were they? They were making them happen themselves. It was great entertainment, though, from the word go until the drop of the checkered. Does of course mean, though, with the exciting reverse grid in order, we're probably going to be expecting much of the same, aren't we, in 2.5 minutes time?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. We've got reverse grid element to think about. Not many points to be scored in these races either, so drivers have to properly get their elbows out, as we saw in the first race of the evening. I'm excited to see what this one brings us now. Daniel Mills here in the Mercedes. Oh, thank you, automatic cameras, changing to Taylor Adams. Taylor was a bit quiet in that one, wasn't he? He had to sort of sit and wait patiently behind a lot of the battles that were going on around him.
Daniel Mills again with the Gunter car. Not sure what on earth that is from, but it's certainly very sort of unique, isn't it? Some guy's face plastered on the side of his car, and then we've obviously got this Regenta Sim Racing. Taylor Adams out on the track. Definitely going to be having a nice dark finish to the end of the race, though, aren't we? The sun beginning to set. Nice amber hues hitting the cars.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Right now, though, the drivers, I'm sure, are going to be thinking about how dark will it be by the time race 2 is done. I mean, there's still a bit of sun in the air at least. The sun's not going to completely set. Not sure if you could have a quick look actually in the sim for us, Ed, and just see if there's a scheduled sunset time, and we can compare it to what time it is now, because it's currently 19 minutes past 5 in the sim. I'd imagine it wouldn't be too far from now, though. Surely in the next sort of 10-15 minutes it'll be set.
Yeah, I imagine so. Just waiting, of course, for the drivers to finish up their warm-up, but not all the drivers, like you mentioned, taking the sort of 10-minute warm-up session, probably preferring to cool down rather than warm up after all of the sprint action they've been through. So you've got to save themselves for the next one.
It's all about there is a bit of a funny endurance aspect to these sprint race nights, isn't there? God, Chaz. Sprint race nights, isn't there? Because they have 2 races to contend with to split it all up into, rather than just 1 hour-long race. You know, they have to think about 2 race starts and 2 race approaches, effectively. You know, they have to go through the entire story of a race, but do it twice instead of just having 1 bite of the cherry. I suppose it's good for some of the drivers, though, because they get more than 1 opportunity, so if race 1 doesn't go well, they can give it a go a second time.
Yeah, it was certainly very exciting, that first race, and now we've got a second one coming up, but the grid for it is just forming up now. Chaz, why don't you run us through the starting order for the second race of the evening?
Well, if drivers like the numbers 1 and 2, it's a fantastic first row for them, isn't it? John Bailiff in car 122. He's on pole position with Dominic Brennan in car 212 alongside him. Then it's Ben Idris Abdullahi and Matthias Tem. They've had some good scraps in the past. Let's see how they get on. Matthias Penteler then alongside Taylor Adams. Lewis Ward and Nils Kaur resume their battle from 7th and 8th. Adam Watson starts 9th with Arthur Thurtle in 10th. Dennis Van Beelen and Guy Edwards next up. And then the rest of the field will be as they finished the first race, and you'll see it scrolling through your screen right now. A nice packed grid of 33 cars once again. I'm intrigued to see how far Callum Brandt can get from the back of the grid. If he can just score some points here this evening in this second race, he will get all of them added to his total, because he's going to have 0 from that first race of the night. And as you can see now, Ed, the headlights are on. We're going to be under lights here for this second race at Interlagos. Lovely stuff.
Really exciting. I'm not sure if that's going to maybe make the drivers be a little bit more cautious with the visibility, or if they're just still going to go hammer and tongs at each other's throats from now until the end of the race. Probably going to be the latter, isn't it, Chaz?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. It completely will, yeah. It's going to be a feisty one, this. I think it's going to be certainly one where, unfortunately, I have to think that there'll be some drivers here that feel like they have a bit of a scores to settle in this second race of the evening. But that's the thing, you have to take that second bite of the cherry and make sure you sink all your teeth into it. Just got to see how tidy they keep things out of the blocks.
Let's see if they do manage to keep it tidy or not. For now, just one corner to go, and then John Bailiff is going to be essentially setting the pace. Dominic Brennan alongside him. So Ben Idris Abdullahi, another driver that we were watching have some great racing earlier. So for Matthias Tem going at each other's throats. Wonder if we'll have round 2.
Hopefully not, because we don't do we don't have to. Well, we don't do as much stewarding in this championship. It's only when something is pretty silly or, you know, repeated offenders that we start to properly look at stuff and see if action needs taken. Sebastian Schrenk, by the way, saying just looked Gunter up. Apparently he's making music, or what you could call music. Still, here we go then. Second race of the night, round 4 in season 6 of the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge, with John Bailiff at the helm, is underway, and he gets away very, very well there. Dominic Brennan doesn't really go with him. Ben Idris Abdullahi is going to be right down the inside of his fellow BMW driver into turn 1, and he takes a quick look. Doesn't quite get it alongside. There's a bit of contact in the middle there. Adam Watson was involved. I think he was just a tap on one of the Porsches. PJ Clyson stuck in the middle with you. A big kiss into Stephen Codman's McLaren. Thurtle and Watson having a go already at Nils Kor's BMW. No, that's Dominic Brennan around. Dominic Brennan facing the wrong way. He's going to try and keep it into the wall. Fair play, Dom. Absolutely amazing job done there by Dominic Brennan. But no, there's more cars in the wall. There's more cars around behind. Stephen Codman, I think Francois Brandet might have been in that as well. I saw a Porsche around. No, it wasn't Francois. It was Oliver Carwadine that was in that. How on earth did Dominic Brennan get there, though? Matthias Tem now looking down the inside here with Adam Watson in the mix. Taylor Adams and Matthias Penteler. God, some of them are very sideways. Track seems quite slippy tonight, doesn't it, Ed?
Very slippy indeed, yeah. It's certainly catching a few drivers out. Maybe that could have been something they could have tried to get to grips with in the warm-up, but of course they were trying to save their energy reserves for this second and final race of the evening. John Bailiff really having a great time out in front, and Idris Abdullahi though sticking with him. It's just, I think, all about trying to break away from the pack behind, because that battling in behind is going to slow them up massively. So if Ben is able to dispatch of John pretty quickly, he could be in with a great chance of claiming his first victory of the season.
Look at the light in here. We're in this twilight sort of setting at the moment, as there's more dramas further down. Heinz Mayer's just lost a place or two. Simon Price has just been off the circuit. He'll be going bananas, you could say, behind the wheel. Matthias Tem down the inside of Adam Watson. I think actually he's defending that position from Adam Watson, trying not to let the Altitude 3M Esports Aston Martin through. It's very feisty, though, in these opening laps. I just want to know how on earth... Oh, no, PJ Clysons is off. Second race in a row. PJ facing the wrong way. I think he might have just spun it on his own there. I'm talking at 100 miles an hour here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's just had a spin. Oh, he's done well there, though. Fair play to him. Very, very well done to PJ there, not to let that get in the path of everyone else. Ben Idris Abdullahi is taking the race lead from John Bailiff, but John's not taking that one lying down. Ben is known for being a very close racer. He will try and squeeze John to every apex that he can, but the thing is, if these guys fight too much, look at the train behind them. Matthias Penteler, Watson and Tem side by side. I think they had a bit of contact just then. Lewis Ward involved in this as well. God, these boys are all so close to one another. Lewis Ward now down the inside of Matthias Tem. Lewis squeezing on by, a little bit of a tap on the way through. And now remains side by side once again. Nils Kor, front row seat for all of this here in the BMW. Into the braking zone now before they get back onto the start-finish straight. It's endless, this is, Ed. This is brilliant stuff to watch, though.
This is just box office, isn't it? On board with Nils Kor, one of the best seats of the house for all of the action. Lewis Ward and Matthias Tem, side by side they go across the start-finish line. Trying to box each other into an uncomfortable position. Nils looking to see if he can take any advantage. Opting to go the wider route round, really open up the ZRS's, but himself actually overshoots his braking marker.
Oof.
Lewis Ward just comes across the nose of Matthias Tem there. We've got a lot of trust in the Dutchman as another Dutchman is off. Dennis van Beelen through the S's this time. Defending hard in towards the left-hander.
Oh,
Trying to find a cutback is there on the inside. Ben Idris Abdullahi, great manoeuvre.
that was gorgeous for the race lead by Ben Idris Abdullahi. Lets John Bailiff defend the inside line, and he says, look, if you're going to go there, I'm going to wait for you to run a little bit wide on the apex, somehow slot this absolute aircraft carrier of a BMW down the inside, and thank you very much and good night. That was epic by Ben. Fair play to him. Lovely move. That scratches an itch in my head that I didn't know I had. That's a gorgeous,
it was very good.
Gorgeous move. So clean. Fair play. We've got Adam Watson here right behind Taylor Adams now. Again, two drivers that will never give up. They've got John Bailiff in front. Matthias Penteler has made his way into second place as well. He's now overtaken John's Aston Martin. Really cool conditions here at the moment to get this second race of the night underway. I just want to see what on earth happened to... What's his name? He drives for me. Dominic Brennan. I want to see what on earth happened to Dom Brennan, because he's getting a push there from Tem, which obviously has nothing to do with it because it's not until later. Hard onto the brakes into turn one. Nice and tidy. Look at that. Oh, there's a send up the inside there. Lewis Ward made it 3 wide on the way in. As now Dom's got a bit of a slow run on the exit there. Tem's down his inside. Tem's still down his inside. Oh, well, okay. I think Matthias thought he was clear, and he's just right-hand downed him. That was very odd. And then, oh, goodness me, nearly gets caught by another incident there, does Dom. That could have got very scary. Oh, Tem's dropping down the order. Tem's had an off, literally, as we've been looking at that. Matthias Tem has been overtaken by Nils Kaur. Was he clipped? Oh, I don't know if he left enough room there. It's hard to see from that angle, though, isn't it? Have a look from above. 2 cars in front. Oh, I mean, Nils is on the curb. I don't think Matthias leaves enough. Easily done, though, isn't it, around there? Because you don't want to run wide on the exit of that corner at all.
And it's just so hard to judge the space you're leaving, really, in these GT4s. If you're in a Porsche, it's a lot narrower, but then the Mercedes, you can see it's very wide, isn't it? I think actually probably one of the widest cars on the grid. The BMW might be close to it, same with the Aston, but I think just sheer width, I think Mercedes has them all beat. Currently beating the rest of the field, Ben Idris Abdullahi in the BMW, leading from Matthias Penteler, trying to fly the flag for RD Sim Sports. So he's obviously trying to do all that he can to help out his teammate Callum Brandt in the championship fight. But so far, he is the only car in that team to score points here tonight. 2 Aston Martins. Altitude Frame Esports have been going pretty well, haven't they, tonight? Arthur Thurtle and Adam Watson scoring big points in the team's championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam now up into 3rd place in this race. Arthur Thurtle not making as much progress as Adam. He's up 2 positions so far, but again, he's been right in the thick of it as the race 1 winner. So he's got to just be careful and make sure that that first result doesn't go to waste with a poor second race of the night. It's very easily done, isn't it? Just having a quick look now, though, to see... Oh, there it is. Daniel Mills and Lee Berridge having a fight. I was going to say, there was some drivers flicking around one way, then the other. These two came to blows in race 1 and had a little bit of a, let's call it a discussion about it in the Discord between races. As Maninveld looking down the inside. Lee just giving a bit of a kiss to the car in front. Very, very feisty stuff from all of our drivers. I love these conditions, though, these sort of twilight conditions. They look fantastic here on iRacing. When you get all the headlights like that, really sort of glowing the rear end of all the liveries in front. If we go to a car like Ben Chalcraft here, just look at that. I love the way this lighting looks.
Beautiful, isn't it? Love the sounds as well. You know, a gaggle of Porsches, aren't we? The big sort of Porsche pack on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them all together on the circuit. 16th down to 21st. So great, isn't it? Just to see the cars gliding their way through the centre S. And Childcraft trying to find any way through, but can't quite do it. There's some side-by-side up ahead as well. Was that Mills and Burns going side-by-side?
Just trying to find it.
Lewis Ward and John Bailiff as well, actually.
Yes.
Lewis just getting ahead of John. As I say that, John's fighting him back around the outside. It's going to be difficult to hang it on through there. Loses out on one occasion, and is he going to lose out to Nils Court? Diving up the inside goes Nils. To fight his way around the outside now as John is trying to defend that 6th place. I think John's just been able to defend enough. As I say that though, Nils Court back up the inside. Still side by side through this middle part of the lap.
Sorry, it was not. For some reason, it wasn't changing cameras for me. Then there was a big delay from the timing software. I'm not quite sure what it was doing there, but all the timing just froze for me for a sec. It all seems okay at your end, doesn't it?
Looks so far all right from my end. Yep, Nils Court this occasion having to settle in behind the Aston Martin, but now here we go down the back straight, round the outside through the centre S, opting to try and carry the momentum around to get the inside line for the second part of the corner. We'll see if this will work out in his favour. Nils Court, obviously a one-time champion, isn't he, of the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge?
Very accomplished racer here at SRM is Nils. Arthur Thurtle, of course, GT3. Actually, both of these guys, no, they're not. I keep saying this. They've both done very well in the winter tours, whether it's GT4 or GT3. But of course, Arthur Thurtle, GT3 Winter Tour champion, reigning Winter Tour champion as well. Look at the glittery effect on the back of that Beamer. They've done so well with it. And look, Nils is saying, "Go on, son, through you go. Have a bit of that." He doesn't. That was interesting. That was clever, that from Nils Court, because he moved the car out of the way in a way that meant that Arthur's run wasn't ruined. That was really strange. It was like making sure that the two of them don't lose the car in front. That was strange cooperation. Adam Watson, by the way, has gained a position and overtaken Matthias Penteler for P2. The spec map on that RD Simsport car does some weird, funky stuff. Whoever has decided to make that fully matte, I hope you sort that out, because that looks so strange in this lighting. I always moan about spec maps being full matte. You only need to do about half satin and it looks alright, but yeah, when you get this weird chalkboard effect, look, they all do it. All the RD Mercedes do it. They look fine in lighting like that, but when it's coming towards you, it looks like a ghost car. It looks like the livery's not loaded right. It's so weird. I noticed it in the earlier race as well. The bonnet of these cars actually looked a bit strange, but in this lighting, look at it here. What is that about?
There's a little bit of a distraction, isn't it?
It's like that Vanta Black or whatever it's called, you know, that doesn't reflect any light at all. It's down that avenue of matte, really. We're going to come back to this, though. John Bailiff, 6th place at the moment. Nils Court just behind him. Just as we've looked away from that, Eric Mannenveld has just gone around at turn 1. Recovers in the Porsche, though, to get back underway. But yeah, John Bailiff defending for his life at the moment and doing a great job here, because he's not holding off absolute nobodies, is he? He's holding off Nils Court, Season 4 GT4 Challenge champion, and of course Arthur Thurtle, reigning GT3 Winter Tour champion. It's hell of a duo behind him as Nils gets a lovely run now. Look at him there, though, compromising by tapping the brakes, going down the inside. How many drivers do we know, Ed, that would have just ploughed into the side of the Aston Martin there?
Oh, too many. Here we go, though. This is brilliant defensive driving, it's fair to say, from John Bailiff.
It's lovely.
Once more, he's trying to essentially back one of them up into the other. So Nils Court, when he makes an overtaking attempt, he's always going to be sort of trying to pull his punches a little bit in order to not lose out to Arthur Thurtle. So John's really playing this quite smartly, but look at the run now from the BMW. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for John to keep Nils behind on this occasion.
Yeah, he's got the run, hasn't he? He's got the run. The BMW's rapid in a straight line. And right now, it's a case of whether he goes left or right. Well, John's not really giving him any choices, has he? He has to go around the outside. And, oh, Nils, I was holding my breath then to see if he could sweep around the outside, and he didn't do it. And now he's run wide on the exit. What about Arthur Thurtle now? What can he do? He's going to get the run on the BMW, but Nils again puts the car in a really clever place. Arthur's not going to be able to do anything from there. Nils goes all the way back down the inside. Lee Berridge is off, and I think his night is done by the look of it. Let's have a look what happened here. There's so many cars trying to avoid him. Rob's got his nose down the inside. Oh, he just runs wide into him. Just a tiny tap. Lee slams it on the brakes, and that is his race over with, I'm afraid.
So, it's a big shame. There's Core, though. This is not a shame, is it? This little battle, Nils Core, once more battling with Arthur Thurtle. It needs to hang on for another 15 minutes. Feel like an age, won't you, with these two breathing down his neck. All the while, Ben-Idris Abdullahi keeping Adam Watson at bay. This is very impressive, isn't it, from Ben? You know, he's a driver that we said is capable of winning things in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. Looks like he's certainly on the road to doing just that. Oh, big wiggle there from Nils Core. That's going to hurt him massively. And is that going to open the door in behind for an opportunity for Arthur Thurtle?
It's a fantastic battle, isn't it? We've got a battle further up as well, by the way. Although, where is Lewis Ward? He's all the way over there, trying to get past Matthias Pentila. Lewis down the inside into turn one, goes past the ghost car and into a podium position. Now, the lead battle is on as well here with 14 and 3/4 minutes to go. Ben-Idris Abdullahi leads the way. Adam Watson is in second position, and the gap is getting smaller and smaller. Watson was half a second faster on that previous lap. There's some great battles going on. We've got these two, then these three, and then another trio back here, then another trio, and almost a quintet actually, with Guy Edwards, Christopher Smith and Tim Perry. These guys are all fighting over the final point scoring positions as well. The last of them at the moment going to Matt Slight. He's got Daniel Mills behind him for company though. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. We hope you're all enjoying the show here on Chaz Draycott Media here tonight. This is the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge, sponsored by Orris Analytics and Derbyshire Holiday Homes. Thanks as always to everyone involved in this series. It's always fantastic fun to bring you the action from this world tour of GT4 racing. I mean, we don't do driver of the night really, Ed, do we? Or driver of the race or anything like that, but I tell you, at the moment, John Bailiff is pulling an absolute blinder in this Aston Martin. He's defending so well. As Nils now thinks, right, stuff it, time to employ the visibility cloak.
Going to try and do everything he can. So Nils again braking very late, trying to get through, but to no avail. Not sure really if there's going to be any route through, because John's putting up an amazing defence, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing an amazing job here. He's just putting the car in the right place at the right time. This is fantastic defensive driving. We've had a bit of an incident further down the order that we need to look at. Nils is getting fed up of this now. He's moving over a little bit just to say, look, I'm going to squeeze you to this part of the racetrack. Nils trail braking like mad around turn one. He's got his nose down the inside. Keeps it over the curb. Can he get rid of the overlap? No, he can't. He's still around the outside of the Aston Martin. Car coming out on track, I think, is Lee Berridge making his way back out. Yes, he is. Not happy with Eric Manningfeld after a previous incident. It seems these guys are all over one another, and I'm afraid to say Callum Brandt's night is about to come to an end. I think he's just had another off and lost a few positions, although it seems like he's carrying on. 3 wide through the left-hander, and look at Arthur Thurtle. Thanks, boys. See you later. Fantastic from Arthur Thurtle. Callum Brandt's race is indeed over, it seems. He's jumped to the pits. A devastating night after qualifying on pole position. But right now, Arthur Thurtle, that was just delightful. See you later, gentlemen. It was naughty, but it was brilliant. Similar to what Ben did earlier, Ben-Idris Abdullahi.
Perfect opportunity, isn't it? Arthur Thurtle, he senses an opportunity and just pounces. Brilliant movement there from Arthur. The car placement, sublime.
This was a little bit earlier. Oliver Carwadine was off. Oh, and he went in the wall after damage. Oh, that's a big hit. PJ Clyson's went off, and Stephen Codman was involved as well. I think PJ's going to spin it here, maybe, and then Stephen... Oh, they both went off, actually. They just both went off, and that was it. Let's have a look at what happened to Callum Brandt. Down the inside of Matthias Tem. Oh, dearie me. And then he's in the middle of the road. Tries to get going. Is the car okay? That's That's the next question. Rejoins. He's got Mark Johnson just behind him, and he's decided at that point to throw in the towel. Now, what was that like? I mean, he was on the curb almost, and again, Tem didn't leave the room, unfortunately. That's a tough night for Callum Brandt, to say the least. You've got a feel for him. Matt Slight has also had a problem. Oh, and the problem was, yeah, I mean, it was Daniel Mills shaped. Puts his nose down the inside. I think he just tried to defend it very aggressively on the inside, and then it just didn't pay off for him, unfortunately. Daniel stuck his nose down there and said, no, I'm staying here. Codman has had the same mistake a lap later as, the Porsche went off behind him. That was Heinz Mayer. Followed him off in sympathy. Back to the front, 10 minutes still to go in this race. It's been a right roller coaster and a whirlwind all at once, hasn't it? It's incredible.
It's been never ending, and it continues to occur for Benedictus Abdullahi. There's a little bit of a gap opening on the inside. Adam Watson is going to go for it. Ben just leaving barely a car's width, but Adam, great opportunism. Once more, finding his way up the inside. Now, what can Ben do to try and defend? Is he going to try and go late on the brakes around the outside and hope that'll be enough, or is he going to try a bit of a switchback manoeuvre, get him into the next corner? Looks like neither, really, and he's just got Adam Watson streaking through. Great movement there, wasn't it, though? Adam Watson, once more, the Altitude Frame Esports, they're sensing those little gaps and just going for it.
Yeah, definitely. Just getting on with the job. Adam Watson takes the lead here at Interlagos. And now Ben Idris Abdullahi wants to get back at him in the Beamer, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon. Lewis Ward next up ahead of Matthias Penteler, then Taylor Adams, the three Mercedes trying to chase them down. To be fair to Taylor, he's had a very under-the-radar evening, hasn't he? Arthur Thurtle in the background has got Nils Kor still all over the back of him, but yeah, Taylor has done a very Taylor-esque drive, hasn't he? Nothing too flamboyant, nothing over the top. He's just carving his way through the order and scoring points.
Seems to be just about getting through, scoring as many points as possible. Have a pointsy race evening. Yeah, I can see that spec map really is a bit distracting, isn't it, on the RD Sim Sports car just up ahead. But Matthias Penteler, it's not a million miles away from a podium, is he?
No, absolutely not.
Chase down Lewis Ward. If he's going to be able to catch him before the end of the race, as Lewis Ward himself is trying to catch up to Ben Idris Abdullahi. Could still be a battle towards the end of the race here. 8 minutes to go. Ben is not dropping back from Adam Watson at all. If anything, he's maybe having a little look to try and retake the lead of the race. See those two nose to tail.
Yeah, sorry. Again, it's freezing up on this end, and I'm not sure why. I might have to just refresh everything a little bit and just see if that changes anything. Everything will just disappear for a second, everybody, so please do bear with it while it does so. We'll try and give it another look. But yeah, Ben Idris Abdullahi, he's not leaving the Aston Martin alone, is he? He is climbing around all over the back of it.
He is. Wheeling the pressure on. Just like how Watson did to him. Ben is going to do back and then some as he nearly runs into the rear end of Adam Watson. Not plain sailing at all, is it, for any drivers here tonight?
No, definitely not. We'll go on board with the BMW. Feels nice and safe from up here. It's like being in a Land Rover. Just got nothing to worry about around you. You could hit a building and it'd still feel comfortable in this car because it is a building. But you can tell just how much darker it's gotten here from the driver's perspective. It is a full-blown night race now. Just looking at the conditions, it is 5 to 6 in the evening in the sim. Still 7 minutes of this race left to go. I think now that Ben... Ooh, that was a little bit hairy around there. I was going to say now that Ben's got a car to chase, similar to how we've seen some drivers in the past, when they've got a target right in front of them, they do tend to stick with them really well, don't they? But it's when they're leading and out on their own that they... they sort of, they don't quite get the full pace. It's that sort of, I don't know, the pressure is, he's thrown it up the inside of Adam Watson. I mean, we've seen Adam do that to plenty of people, so Ben's saying have it back, and Adam just slides back in front. That is hard, tough stuff.
Really, rough and aggressive, but it's fair. It's not like it's over the limit. It is harsh, but fair. Ben once more looking for a little gap up the inside. And Watson, all of this battling is slowing him down and allowing the likes of Lewis Ward, Matthias Pentila, Taylor Adams as well to find themselves in with a shot of a race victory.
Brilliant battling, but all of the time Lewis Ward, Matthias Pentila and the guys behind will be closing in as these guys fight away. Still 6 minutes left to go on the clock, and that's going to be a good, 4 laps or so. Plenty of racing still left here at Interlagos. This is the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge, and it is very busy, tough stuff here under lights in Brazil. It's about the coolest it ever will be in Brazil when you come racing here, but it's hot under the collar for a lot of these drivers. Adam Watson leading for Altitude 3M Esports after a good fight through the order. Ben Idris Abdullahi right up with him after taking the lead in the first few laps. He has remained right near the front for Satellite Racing. Ben has been a real stalwart of the championship in previous seasons. It's great to see him on for a potential podium finish here.
Looks good for Ben Idris Abdullahi to get the podium. Lewis Ward, Matthias Pentila chasing him down. Once more, Adam Watson safe in towards turn 1, but look at the lap times. Nearly identical from first to second. Ben sticking with him. Oh, but with a bit of a rough exit through there, he's going to lose some ground. That's going to be exactly what Adam is wanting to see. I don't know if he can quite see it beyond just obviously the headlights in the rearview mirror, as it has gotten completely pitch black now.
Yeah, it really is. As soon as you've not got any headlights near you, the circuit is just pitch black. Nils Core still having a fight here with Arthur Thurtle. John Bailiff has still got a front row seat for this one as well. He was watching it through his rear view mirror before. Now he's watching it through the windscreen. He's got an opportunity now as Nils Core runs wide. Can he slot the Aston Martin down the inside? Not just yet. But it really does look like it, doesn't it? Like the circuit's only rendering 100 metres at a time when you've got the headlights ablaze in these things. This is great.
Life. And he's been really in the thick of all the action, but he's not backed down from a fight, has he, Chaz?
No, absolutely
Found
not.
himself high up the order, but really rose to the occasion, relished in the opportunity to battle up there, fight for the race victory. Well, it necessarily didn't work out for him. It still has given us some excellent racing, and now Ben Idris Abdullahi, if he can nail this exit, he's going to be in with a great chance. And oh, that was a little bit squirmy, wasn't it, from Adam Watson on the way out the corner.
It's great to see, actually. We've got 2 Satellite Racing BMWs chasing 2 Altitude 3M Esports Aston Martins. It's a carbon copy of the battle in different places on the circuit. So now 3.5 minutes left to go. This is going to be now the penultimate lap of the race here in round 4 of the championship. Ben Idris Abdullahi putting that car everywhere he possibly can to get past Adam Watson. Adam having to defend very hard now. He's showing the body language that he knows he has to defend. That could be considered a chink in the armour, but at the same time, he's putting the car in the right place. We've got Tim Perry and Christopher Smith swapping places in this Mercedes quartet further down. This is Guy Edwards, Tim Perry, Christopher Smith, and then Daniel Mills all fighting together. But the lead battle is on. I can't get my words out for it. Is Ben Idris Abdullahi going to do to Adam what he did to John Bailiff? Ooh, nearly. Not quite. But boy, this is close.
Really is. Just oh so close. Adam Watson once more trying to defend the inside, but is that going to open up an opportunity down on the inside for the next corner for Ben Idris Abdullahi? The two of them wheel to wheel. Nice exit though for Adam Watson, and he'll have the inside line for the next corner. Good attempt though from Ben Idris Abdullahi. It really does show that Adam cannot have too comfortable of a time, cannot afford to show the inside, because yet again that BMW is going to try and find its way through. Contact between the pair of them. I think Ben's going to struggle to find his way around the outside, and in fact lifts off the slot in behind, realises that Lewis Ward was there waiting in the wings to try and take advantage. Now it's going to be a three-way fight. We're going to have one and I think maybe 2 laps when we get to the line, won't we, Chaz?
I think this will start the final lap now. Keep your eye out for Barney, the flagman, on the right-hand side of your screen, waving the white flag. I was going to call it something else then. You all know what I was going to say. But right now, it is Adam Watson still holding on. Nearly hits the end of the pit wall. We can't see Barney, but I think he's waving a flag. Yes, he is. He was waving a flag in the background there. This is the final lap of the race. Idris Abdullahi clips the rear corner of the Aston Martin. You could say Adam moved over a little bit far to the right. What about Lewis Ward, though? He's now right up behind the pair of them. Adam's run wide. He's run wide on turn 2. Ben Idris Abdullahi's going to go to his left-hand side. They just don't need to squeeze each other now. They need to just stay in a straight line. Behave yourselves, boys, and get into the double left-hander. Ben's going to be as late on the brakes as he dares. Lewis Ward wants to come down the inside. Adam's turned in and he's around. Adam Watson is around. I don't think he knew that Lewis was going to be there, and that puts pay to him winning this one. Can Lewis Ward now do enough to get ahead of Ben Idris Abdullahi, or has Ben now been given the benefit of the doubt with that gap?
Let's have a look. Ben Idris Abdullahi right now at the death. Maybe has got just enough in, and this will be a really important moment for Ben, won't it, Chaz? On for his first ever race victory in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. We've said it's going to be, well, certainly on the cards for him. We've watched him develop race upon race, and now this could be his moment.
Absolutely could. Ben has been with us for a long, long time, pushing and trying everything he can to win a race. How about this as well? Matthias Penteler currently running in 3rd position. Can he get a podium on his return to the championship in his first race of the season? That would be mega. Well, second race technically, but first race meeting. Either way, neither of them are going to stop Ben Idris Abdullahi. You can hear the smile on my face because this very popular driver is going to take a brilliant win in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. Abdullahi wins. Lewis Ward second. Penteler with a great podium in 3rd place. Taylor Adams 4th. 5th is Nils Cord, just ahead of Arthur Thurtle. Then it's John Bailiff. Adam Watson heads into the pit lane. He must have hit the incident limit or something. Guy Edwards is next ahead of Christopher Smith, his teammate. Then it's Daniel Mills and Tim Perry scoring the final point on the night. But Ben Idris Abdullahi, take a bow, son. God, he worked hard for that one.
Really did. Really put everything on the table and then some. But what a race that was. All the way through the field, up and down. Something was going on, but that battle for the lead, that little tussle as well. Ben Idris Abdullahi battling away with Arthur Thurtle. Or sorry, it was Adam Watson, wasn't it? Right at the end there. Well, that was brilliant, brilliant racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good stuff here tonight. A lot of argy-bargy and a lot of typical sort of sprint racing that we've expected to see. But what a amazing final lap of the race. Let's have a look back at it then, shall we? Let's see if we can get a white flag replay. Does it even come up anymore? Normally we get a white flag warning in the timing software. Bear with me. See if we can find it on here. Look at this lot as well, having a good old scrap. Ben Idris Abdullahi's already halfway around the lap at this point. That battle going on behind. Let's try... Where is it? Ah, okay, so, yeah, we had the move for the lead, didn't we? Here it is then, out of turn 2. Ben Idris Abdullahi, Adam Watson on the right-hand side. Lewis Ward in the Mercedes is going to sneak up on the pair of them. Lewis goes late on the brakes, puts his nose down the inside. Oh, Adam just didn't know he was there, did he? Just did not know he was there. Penteler then holds on in 3rd position ahead of Taylor Adams, who just can't quite do enough to get with the Mercedes in front. Look how dark it got. Look how dark it got. These guys were so close coming to the flag, though, and you can sense now, you can see it from Taylor, can't you? Now he's gone suddenly from 5th to 4th. He's gone, right, I want to gain a place here. I want to get onto that podium. You can just see the urgency in the car suddenly just came alive.
Wow, wow, wow. Taylor Adams really just was on a mission, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was a really, really good race. That really good stuff. I'm really pleased for Ben Idris Abdullahi. Like we said there near the end, he's been around in the SRM community for a while now, a few seasons. He's been really impressing us. And like Ed said earlier in the broadcast, he's one of these drivers that's continually improving, continually getting quicker. And he's now come home with a race victory in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge. This is the moment where he took the flag. Huge crowd here in Brazil, virtually. Across the line he goes, and he will be absolutely loving that. You can't see his hands moving in the sim, of course, but he'll be punching the air with delight. will Ben Idris Abdullahi. That was fantastic to see. And we go back in time and look how much brighter it was way back when, when all of this started. Let's have a quick look then at the feature race results, shall we? Before we then get into having some driver interviews. Ben Idris Abdullahi wins. Lewis Ward in second, ahead of Matthias Pentila in third. Taylor Adams was fourth, ahead of Nils Kaur, with Arthur Thurtle in sixth. John Bailiff in seventh after a great race. He's ahead of Guy Edwards and Christopher Smith. Daniel Mills in 10th, with Tim Perry 11th, and Stephen Burns actually scoring the final points in the end. I think Adam Watson dropped further down in the end because of hitting the incident limit at the end. Ben Chalcraft was behind Rob Sharp, 13th and 14th. Chris Jennings and Dom Brennan next up. Not bad that from Dom, considering where he was at the end of lap 1. Eric Maninveld, 17th, ahead of Dennis Van Beelen. PJ Kleisson's 19th, Mark Johnson 20th, with Kim Such, Stephen Codman, Adam Watson, John Roberts and Heinz Mayer the next cars up. Simon Price and Matthias Tem finished on the lead lap. And then it was Francois Brandet, Lee Berridge, 1 lap down. Gary Tall did not finish the race. Matt Slight, Callum Brandt and Oliver Carwadine all out of the second race of the evening. So, let's cue some music of sorts somewhere when I can eventually find out. I've got a lot of programs open tonight. I can't really see a lot of what's going on. But let's bring in the man that finished... Well, actually, where did... Yeah, Nils Kaur is in the interview waiting room, and he's waiting to have a chat with us. Nils, you had an amazing fight there with Arthur Thurtle throughout that race. You must be... Well, I mean, you were both talking there in the waiting room. You must both be sweating like mad now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was sweating so much that after I got past him the first time, my wheel almost slipped out of my hand. That was really intense. That was one of the best battles I ever had.
I was going to say, it certainly looked like it, with the difference in the cars as well, keeping it nice and interesting. But, I mean, what was it like with the additional challenge of it being dark as well? Was that sort of adding any more challenges to it?
That didn't really affect me too much. I mean, it was behind someone for the most part, so I could always see something. Yeah. I was a bit surprised that the BMW actually had some good straight line speed on this track, while on Sebring it seemed like it didn't really go forward very well. Yeah, but the Aston was much better on the brakes, so especially when I tried to overtake John for like what felt like 10 laps, I just kept outbraking myself and just couldn't get ahead at all, and it was the same with Arthur.
I was going to say there was some amazing racing in there, and obviously it was all very close all the time, but this is the thing, you guys have raced each other for a few seasons now in different events and so on. It's always good to know that you can race closely like that with somebody, isn't it? Because it just causes so much fun behind the wheel, I imagine.
Yeah, I was honestly a bit worried because in the last few laps I was already at 13x, so one incident and it would have been it, but we managed to keep it clean the whole time, which is amazing.
Absolutely, it certainly looked like a lot of fun, Nils. How have you found the first 3 race meetings of the season so far? It's been a bit up and down, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Still a bit sad that I had to miss Sebring, but this one was quite good, and I hope it continues like this.
Absolutely, we certainly hope so too. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
Definitely big shout out to my teammate Ben for winning the race today.
Yeah, man.
Which is really great. And then obviously also, as usual, big shout out to the whole Satellite Racing squad and also our sponsors.
Fantastic stuff. Great to speak to you as always, Nils. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, Nils Kaur, like I say, I'm not surprised the wheel slipped out of his hands there towards the end, Ed, because that was some intense racing, and it just looked like the exact sort of racing that you'd want to have on a night like tonight, didn't it?
Really did. It was really just a brilliant race all around for so many drivers. But yeah, Nils Kaur, some good consistent points, isn't it, throughout the whole of the evening, which will be good for the championship. No podiums to his name, if I can remember rightly, but still, excellent race. Nevertheless, we'll certainly see him in good stead for the remainder of the championship, especially with some of his main rivals, the likes of Callum Brandt, Matt Slight as well, not having that great of an evening out on track either.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do now is bring in another driver, and we're going to bring in the driver that was on the other end of the stick with that battle, actually, with Neil's core. We're going to bring in Arthur Thurtle. Arthur, fantastic racing, great to watch. Neil said that his wheel slipped out of his hands. His hands were sweating that much. Was it the same at your end?
Yeah, that was like when me and Nils were just talking. Like, I didn't care that that wasn't for the win.
Yeah,
like, that was just such good racing, and two different cars that are quick in different areas. Neil's the BMW down the straight, I couldn't catch him, but under the brakes, I could have him. And yeah, I didn't mind that wasn't for the lead. That was just that was really what we do all this for in the sim racing. That's what we do it for, battles like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm completely with you. You know, I'd rather have a battle like that for 19th position than drive away and win from, like, you know, at distance. But I mean, obviously you got a win earlier on in the night. You must be pretty pleased to open your account here this season in the GT4 Challenge.
Yes, it was nice to get a win. The first round I made a mistake, and then in the second one, Sebring's just, I can't do Sebring.
Me neither.
I just can't do it. I knew it was going to be a bad round.
Yeah, it's always the same with me, mate. I wouldn't worry. It's one of those circuits. I mean, I say that like I'm a professional esports driver. I'm an idiot, but you know what I mean. Still, Interlagos was always going to be a challenge. What have you made of the whole night, though? Because it certainly looked like a circuit that, as ever, provided great racing.
Yeah, the first race after the first lap was fairly easy. I drove at sort of 9/10 just to keep everything cool and get to the end. And then the second race was just absolutely brilliant. If you want overtake of the race, just watch me and Niels after we got past John. You don't need to look anywhere else.
That was a belter. We did get that one, and it was certainly one that got me and Ed making all sorts of noises in the commentary box. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go, Arthur?
I'll give a shout out to John for having the widest Aston on the track.
Yeah, true.
That was nice. I used to race with John years ago, so it was nice to have a bet with him. And then shout out to the wife for looking after the baby tonight, letting me do this. And then all the Attitude Freem sponsors. So we got Freem, Hedge Photography, Access to Inspiration, Sim Stickers, the Lima Resource Centres, all the sponsors that make this team possible.
Mega stuff. Well, thank you as always for jumping in, Arthur. Well done on a solid night of racing, and we look forward to seeing you next time round.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next round.
Arthur Thurtle, everybody. What a bloke. He really loved that one as well. But he's absolutely right, though, isn't he, Ed? You know, those guys, they're here to race, and they won't, like he said, they didn't care that wasn't for the win. I love to hear that when the guys have had a great battle. It's lovely, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, that's why we do it, isn't it, Chaz? We don't do the races necessarily just for the sort of 10% that will win a race this championship. We do it for pretty much everybody who takes part, because racing up and down through the field is what drives so many people to flock to this championship and flock to this community. We've had unprecedented demand, didn't we, from the start of the season, drivers taking part in the winter tour just for the chance of racing in the full GT4 challenge proper. And it's great to hear drivers giving us their feedback like that to show that, whatever it is we're doing, Chaz, obviously is working.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And we need to bring in, of course, a driver that had things working this evening. Ben Idris Abdullahi. Ben, you finally won a race in the GT4 Challenge. You must be over the moon. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely extremely happy right now. Not sure. I mean, it was a crazy first race for a little bit, and then a crazy second race as well. It went to the end.
I was going to say, there was no moment of chill for you tonight, was there? You always had somebody to fight against and someone to either attack or defend. But, you know, the BMW did well as well, didn't it? I mean, it's a big car, but it performs nicely, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting it to be that good for this truck. But it obviously worked very well. It was a great surprise to have.
It really was. I mean, we're just looking at slow motion footage right now of Dominic Brennan's BMW not performing too well as it went sideways into a wall. But still, it was a tricky night though at Interlagos. It's not a circuit that's easy to get right lap after lap after lap, is it? It's quite an inconsistent circuit from anybody's perspective.
Absolutely. If you were, I think the biggest mistake anyone could make in that race was with the throttle on corner exits. The moment you made a mistake, you lost a lot.
Definitely. Well, the BMW certainly held strong this evening, and it's been quite the topsy-turvy start to the season. How have you found the season overall so far?
Overall, it's a bit mixed after the first 2 rounds, but this one obviously was so much better. So.
Well, we look forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes on for you, Ben. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout-out to on this first win?
Yeah, a big shout-out to everyone at CR, obviously. A big shout-out to everyone at SR as well, who are welcoming me in the team. And then a big shout-out to you, Chaz, and you, Ed, as well, for commenting every week. Every other week.
Yeah, we quite enjoy the week off now. But thank you very much, Ben. It's a pleasure as always. Well done on the victory, mate, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you.
Honestly, Ben needs to start a radio show with a voice like that. It's smooth as silk. Ben Idris Abdullahi. What a fantastic bloke, though. And it's honestly, again, so heartwarming to see some of these drivers that we've been commentating on and watching for so long finally get race victories, isn't it, Ed? Especially now, you know, with no disrespect to the Winter Tour, this is the series they all want to be in the GT4 Challenge, you know. It's to get a win here must mean a bit more, surely.
Yeah, it's the main event. I think it's fair to say it's where we started with the Sim Racing Magazine races, and it is going to be the flagship, I think, for the foreseeable, won't it, Chaz? But I'll tell you what, that was a brilliant evening's worth of racing, capped off, of course, with the first victory for Ben Idris Abdullahi in a Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge event, or race rather. But well, bring on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very busy night of racing here at Interlagos. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussions after that one, but it was exciting as ever. Arthur Thurtle and Ben Idris Abdullahi make it 4 race winners out of 4 races in the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge so far. Thanks as always to our sponsors, Orris Analytics and Derbyshire Holiday Homes. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Ed May for the commentary as well, and all the drivers for putting on such a fantastic performance and a great show. That's all from us this evening, though. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for round number 5, where we go back to endurance racing for an hour, and we'll hopefully see you then.